Cooper Flagg is the real deal, make no mistake about it. He's got the whole package. He is something special to behold.
3 words for Cooper Flagg: real bleeping deal. This dude showed us the complete package.
If the Dallas Mavericks are healthy, they could easily ascend to being the favorites in the Western Conference.
The league-wide Summer League tournament in Las Vegas is officially underway, and it has not disappointed us thus far. However, it's not because of the games itself, because let's be honest, nobody is watching the Summer League game for team results. The real reason that Summer League has been hot so far is the players that are involved. Almost all of the top young players in the NBA are taking part in this tournament, and it's always a blast to watch them ball out as a nice little preview of what's to come in the regular season. But there's one player in particular that we all had our eye on, and that's the #1 overall pick in this year's NBA draft, Cooper Flagg. After years of hype surrounding his name, we finally got to see Cooper Flagg play NBA basketball, and man, he is not disappointed. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to get the latest NBA news to your device. And now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Cooper Flagg has officially stepped foot on an NBA court, and if what we've seen already is any indication, he is going to be a superstar. In his first ever game, he faced off against Bronny James and the Los Angeles Lakers, and although he didn't have a great game on paper, he still showed flashes of stardom. The real showcase for Flagg so far was 2 days later when he and the Dallas Mavericks faced off against the #2 overall pick Dylan Harper and the San Antonio Spurs, and this was arguably the most anticipated matchup of the entire tournament. I mean, it's the #1 overall pick versus the #2 overall pick. How could you not be excited about that? And we weren't let down either, because Cooper Flagg looked like the dominant monster that he's been projected to be in the NBA for years. Flagg put up 31 points on 47.6% shooting, had 4 rebounds and assists, and showed why he projects to be an elite two-way player on top of that. For reference, Dallas as a team had 69 points in a losing effort, and Flagg had 45% of Dallas's points. And these weren't just empty stats either. The film shows just how good Cooper Flagg was and just how well his game will translate to the NBA. The first play we're going to show is a play that shows off a new kind of role for Cooper Flagg. It shows him doing something that he really hasn't ever done before, and that's play more of a point forward role. While Flagg was at Duke, he played a role similar to how Pascal Siakam plays in Indiana. He didn't bring the ball up, and he found success the most when he was given the ball with an opportunity to attack his defender one-on-one. So far in Summer League, however, Dallas has challenged him to step out of his comfort zone and handle the ball more, showing the front office and the rest of the NBA how versatile that he can be with the ball in his hands. And this play right here happened early in their game against San Antonio, and it's safe to say that Cooper Flagg looks very comfortable in his new role. Flagg is going to catch the ball off the inbound, and this is where his point forward role really starts to shine. Flagg waits for a high screen from his center, and after a hell of a pick, Flagg attacks to his left and attempts to find his spot. The screen setter's man steps up on Flagg, and once he saw this, he knew exactly where he was going. The big man couldn't commit to guarding Flagg because it would leave the roller wide open, so he's forced to step back, and with Flagg's man still trailing from being hit with the screen, Flagg finds a hole and pulls up for an uncontested midi, and believe me, he's never gonna miss those. The next play starts off very similarly, but creates a very different result. Flagg once again starts with the ball at the top of the key and has a potential screener coming his way to create a pick and roll. However, the difference in this play is that Ryan Nembhard doesn't set the screen, and Carter Bryant sticks onto Flagg, not letting him get moving into space the same way he did in the last play we saw. For context, Carter Bryant was widely considered as the best perimeter defender in the NBA draft before he got taken with the 14th overall pick by San Antonio, so he's not an easy matchup by any means whatsoever. And despite that, Cooper Flagg uses his size and speed to attack the rim against a great defender in Carter Bryant, and doesn't even let the ball touch his right hand, going up with a strong left hand finish, which is unbelievably impressive considering not only the level of defender, but also the fact that Flagg isn't even left-handed. The next play might be the most impressive play that you'll see today. Well, at least considering the circumstances. The shot clock is off at the end of the third quarter, and Dallas has the ball, looking for a last-second bucket to give them some momentum heading into the fourth. Ryan Nembhard has the ball, with Cooper Flagg wrapping underneath, and ends up hitting Flagg off the wrap to give their best player the ball ball when it matters the most. However, a help defender comes from the wing and almost steals the ball on the pass. Unfortunately for him, he lost control of his momentum there for a second, and that gave Cooper Flagg the slightest opportunity though, which he took complete advantage of. Flagg's original defender switches onto the open shooter on the wing, and while his back is to Flagg, Flagg uses the aggressive defender's momentum against him, using his right arm to create a lane to the rim behind the defender, and eventually dunking on the help defender's head in the paint with a second and a half left to go in the quarter. Later in the game, we once again saw a similar situation to a play that we just watched that ended up with a completely different result, and this really shows just how well that Cooper Flagg is able to adjust on the fly. First of all, this behind the back that Flagg hits on the break is absolutely filthy, and then after that, Cooper Flagg passes the ball up the court and sets up at the top of the key where he immediately gets the ball back. However, once again, a defender attempts to jump the passing lane to steal the ball and is a hair too late. This time though, it was Flagg's main defender, and instead of the defender's momentum going towards Flagg, it was going towards the opposing basket, and Flagg used that against him the same way he used the defender's momentum against him in the last play, but in a different way, as he decides to attack to his right instead of at the basket, creating some space behind the arc while his defender is still recovering from the over-aggression, and then he pulls up for a three-pointer, which he bangs. I was unbelievably impressed with Cooper Flagg's performance in this game, and I think that he did a great job of proving to the Mavericks organization that they can trust him with the ball in his hands as a primary ball handler, and if nothing else, he proved to everybody that his otherworldly scoring ability wasn't just a fluke at the collegiate level. I also love the fact that no matter what coverage he faced and no matter who was on him, he found a way to get a bucket, and he found a way to get a bucket efficiently. Testing out a brand new role and still being able to put up an efficient 30 is a trait that proves to me that he's ready to dominate in the pros.
McMahon, so what are your expectations for Flagg in his first season as rookie year?
Rookie of the year, a top 2 rookie season in Mavericks franchise history. This is a dude that you build around for a generation to come and never, ever even remotely consider trading.
If Cooper Flagg can replicate this dominance once the regular season starts, there's a very good chance that the Dallas Mavericks can be competitive in the loaded Western Conference this season. Yes, Oklahoma City is coming off one of the greatest single seasons in NBA history and brought back their entire core. Houston added Kevin Durant to a roster that was a 50-win team without a reliable number 1 option last year, and Denver added a few key pieces that propelled them right back into true contender status. But I truly believe that people are sleeping on the Dallas Mavericks. If he can stay healthy, Anthony Davis is still a superstar in this league and could carry the team to success. Kyrie Irving is projected to return around January from his ACL tear, and the addition of him to the rotation would bring them right back to where they were last season before Luka Doncic's injury. Adding Cooper Flagg to that superstar duo will create an unbelievable big three with incredible weapons around them like Klay Thompson, Daniel Gafford, and Spencer Dinwiddie. There's no question that Dallas has the potential to surprise some teams in the West. The West is absolutely loaded, and I don't think that Dallas will be competing for a championship this year, but they'll give some of the top teams some trouble. And who knows, maybe second-year Cooper Flagg, alongside a full season from Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, can push Dallas over the edge and bring them back to the NBA Finals, which seemed impossible after the Luka Doncic trade. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about Cooper Flagg's performance? Do you think I'm just overhyping a Summer League performance, or do you think there's some substance here? And if you guys enjoy this, let me know if there are any other prospects that we should cover after Cooper Flagg. Personally, I'm very fascinated by the Philadelphia 76ers number 3 overall pick, VJ Edgecombe. I'm very excited to dive into some film on him, but I'm also enamored with Ace Bailey's progression with the Utah Jazz. So let me know in the comment section down below which we should cover next. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.